Welcome to Manifested Publishers.
Welcome, learners. My name is Stephen Kariungi. Today we continue with our study of classification. And today I want us to go through the historical data on classification. So if you look at the historical background of classification, you realize that there is a difference between the traditional system of classification and the modern system of classification. For example, in the traditional classification, biologists were classifying living organisms based on their relationship with man. And on this, you'll find that different people in different backgrounds had different relationships with plants and animals. For example, some plants were declared as edible while others are non-edible. Some animals were being classified as being ferocious, others as being calm. So that is basically based on human perception of particular living organisms. However, in the modern classification, this one has changed, and this classification is now based on similarities and differences in characteristics, whereby it is believed that if organisms have very many similar factors, or if they have so many factors in common, then it means that they may have had a common ancestry or a common origin. So that is what modern classification is all about. So you can say that traditionally, classification was based on the relationship between living organisms and man. And on that, you'll find that biologists would classify as being edible, non-edible, medicinal, etc. Animals were classified based on their behavior. E.g., calm, others are ferocious, etc. So we can basically say that there was no standard way of classification. However, in modern classification, this is done according to evolutionary relationships between living organisms. Evolutionary relationships between. Evolutionary relationships are also called phylogeny. The phylogeny of living organisms. So that is basically what changed. So we started now looking at what do these organisms have in common, and why do they have some features in common that indicates a common ancestor, or that indicates a common ancestry. So from here, living organisms were then classified based on similarities and differences in characteristics. So now, the most up-to-date form of classification is the modern classification, and this one is what we are going to discuss. And this modern classification involves something that is called taxonomy. Modern classification involves taxonomy, which involves dividing living organisms into taxonomic units. What we call the units of taxonomy. So the modern classification, it involves grouping of organisms into taxonomic units called taxons. So the biological science behind classification is called taxonomy. So the biological science behind classification is called taxonomy. So let's look at the taxonomic units. Also known as the taxons. So we start with the one that has the highest number of organisms. We refer to that as the kingdom. The kingdom is then divided further into smaller divisions called phyla or division. And then the phyla and the division, you can say divisions. Then we have classes. From the classes, we have the various orders. Then families. Then we have the genera. and then finally the species. So we have 7. This is a hierarchy of 7 taxonomic units, starting from the largest. Which in this case is the kingdom. Then the kingdom is followed by the phyla. When it is 1, it's called the phylum or division. Then we have the classes, orders, families, genera. Genera is plural of genus. So when there are many, there are genera. When it is 1, it's called the genus. And then we have the species. So we are going to have an assignment on that. So the first question, distinguish between traditional and modern classification. 2, list the 7 taxonomic units, starting with the one with the fewest organisms. So we'll continue from there next time. Goodbye.